Welcome, collectors and heavy equipment enthusiasts. I am your host, Tommy. This is Diecast Emporium, and you've joined us for an all-new review. In today's video, we are going to be examining the 1/50th scale Ertl Prestige Collection John Deere 768L-II Bogie Skidder. This has been one of the most requested models to be reviewed on this channel, and I apologize that it's taken me so long to get one of these here, but all of that can be forgotten as we finally have one here today. So, this Prestige Edition collectible does come in the sealed-off style box, unlike the John Deere 470 that I reviewed just a couple days ago, so that is good to see, particularly for those of us that keep our models inside their box so that no dirt, dust, contaminants can get into them while they are in storage. You can see Prestige Collection Ertl here down at the bottom right. This is an adult collectible, recommended minimum age, of course, of 14, and John Deere at the top left. Both side flaps of the model's box feature a picture of the real machine. Here's the other one as well. They are two different pictures on two different sides. And then a better picture of the real machine on the back. Taking a look at the bottom of the box, here you have all of your copyright information. By the way, if you have a John Deere dealership and you ever want to go order a John Deere model from your John Deere dealership, you will need an LP number for the parts department. Here is your LP number for this model in particular, which is LP 77268. Okay, let's get this thing out of the box. As you can probably already tell just there, for all of our sanities, I have already taken the time to take out not one, not two, but three pesky, irritating, annoying, unnecessary flex cup type twist ties that I really have absolutely no idea why Ertl feels is still necessary to use for their packaging of their models. Believe me, Ertl, I am trying to provide you some positive, constructive feedback. So, with the twist ties gone, we can lift the model straight out of the box. There is no assembly to do because no accessories are provided, and the model is complete out of the box. Okay, with the model out of the box, let's first go over the details and decals. The decals, for the most part, are a high point of this model, including the John Deere logo, 768L-II up on top of the cab, and John Deere right on top of the engine housing. We can find another logo at the front of the machine with the John Deere logo right in front of the grille. Two more decals with protection over them give the illusion of forward-facing lights with more lights on top of the cab. Right side of the machine, again, very similar as the left, but here we see one of the more unfortunate aspects of this model, and those are these two large, unsightly holes where two screws are present. I have no idea why a decision was made not to, even if this is how the model is assembled. Why not to close off these holes when assembly of the model is finished? Because honestly, it detracts from the overall profile of the machine and gives the illusion that this machine was targeted by the Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle. Other unfortunate aspects of the model aesthetically include large, unsightly bolts that could have done with a little bit of paint, which, of course, you could always cover up yourself, but if this is part of Ertl's Prestige Collection, I would imagine that that's something that, again, should have been done from the factory just to clean it up a bit and give it that little bit more high-quality finish to it. Looking at the detail inside the wheels, again, the yellow is an off color, especially because the wheels are plastic, and the grapple, which is yellow, is metal, so you can see the difference in color there. It is quite noticeable. The tread pattern detail on all six of the wheels are pretty good looking and quite acceptable, and obviously the two rear wheels are much smaller in diameter than those that are on the front. The front of the machine has a dozing blade. We have the rollover protection structure, or ROPS, and a single exhaust stack. Back over here, additional details include the use of decals, which give the illusion that the cab has a little bit more protection guarding on it for work in the forest. The stairs have some etched texturing built into the metal casting, which again looks quite acceptable. The rear of the machine, there is more detail, again, on the whole grapple mechanism, whether it's the actual skidder part or the grapple, which is used to haul the logs out of the forest. That is the decal and detail. Let's transition to functionality. For the first bit of functionality, this machine features no less than 4 opening engine hatches, 2 on each side. Some of them seem to open much more easily than the others, so we'll open the 2 on this side first. This is much more easily accomplished with the use of a pointer tool, but as you can see, the way they were designed, they don't seem to sit evenly, and they're rather unsightly and don't sit very even when you close them either. As seen here, they are off and don't sit flush with the side of the engine. This side, it's probably even more so noticeable. That's how it looks when they're closed. You can see how off it is. Let's get these open. This side is open to its full extent, and we'll pop this one open as well. You can see inside some engine component detail. Again, hard to pick up on camera, but it is present. With as difficult as these are to open and how unevenly these things sit, it is rather unsightly to look at, so I would not recommend posing this machine to have some standard maintenance done on it. This is a rubber-tired machine, obviously, so it moves by, of course, rolling on its 6 wheels. All of the wheels roll appropriately well enough if you put down enough pressure on them. The oscillation on the 2 rear axles of the Bogie Skidder is quite excellent. You can achieve a very aggressive angle, so if you wanted to pose this machine going over some trees or maybe some brush in the woods, you can achieve that without any problem at all. To turn this machine, it of course articulates across the articulation joint, but unfortunately the range of motion there is also restricted, particularly if you turn it to the right. If you have this thing turning to the left, the range of motion is slightly more accurate, and the angle is slightly greater than if you were turning it to the right. On the front of the machine, we have a dozer blade. This is as high as it will raise up, right here. And you can raise it down to here, which is slightly below the grade of the machine, using some dozer terminology. But it is enough to raise the front wheels free. Lifting this back up, let's now turn our attention to the main functionality, which of course is the entire skidder or the grapple functionality. You can carefully lower this to about here, but be careful not to overdo it because both of these cylinders can easily pop out of their jackets, and you don't want to have to deal with that. You can also raise it back up. You can tilt your skidder down slightly by using these 2. But most importantly, you can open and rotate your claw here, your grapple. And because this channel has such an extensive budget, we have brought in some paint pens to stand in for our scale model logs. So let's see if we can get an appropriate skidding pose. We'll put a couple in here, close up our grapple, and hopefully get this machine to skid our paint pens from point A to point B. With a little bit of patience, you can do just that, and the machine works quite well. So, overall, my review of the 1/50th scale John Deere 768L-II Bogie Skidder is that, like most Ertl models, it is a machine of contrast. There are certainly some areas, both aesthetically and functionality, that could be improved significantly. However, there are not many Bogie Skidders out there in the scale model world, much less some that are in 1/50th scale. So if you are a fan of forestry equipment and or John Deere models, I would recommend picking one up. I would not recommend paying any more than $45 or $50 at the high end because of the model's limitation, as well as some of the very unattractive, unsightly decisions that were used in the final assembly process. As always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so very much for watching. You have heard my thoughts. I am eager to hear your thoughts since this video was requested by so many. Thank you all again so much for watching. Until next time, take care, be safe, be well. I will see you in the next review.